Hey there, Cheese Meisters, and welcome back to the Peach Pod After Dark. I am Jeff, and I know from experience, you can't just ask people why they're white. Poor form. Just generally not acceptable behavior.
Oh no.
Uh, have you been doing that frequently? Is that like a first time it's ever occurred to you? Don't do that?
No, I'm a little alarmed that you didn't know that.
Oh, well, you know what? We're always learning and growing, is what I'm saying.
That's true.
Yeah. And joining me on the other end of the internet is my cuz host.
I'm Leslie, and I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom. I'm not even a
It's,
mom.
it's real weird to see Leslie Nope acting that way.
No, see, that's how I was first. It's weird, I guess. Okay, it is a little weird, although that's how I was first introduced to her.
I think we're gonna have to. Okay, that's an interesting place to start because I think that colors things for me watching this movie and probably everybody because of all the people in it. Anyway, here's the
Yeah.
deal: we are talking about Mean Girls, the 2004.
Yeah.
Yes, high school girls really act like this masterpiece,
Oh my
directed
god.
by Mark Waters, written by Tina Fey, starring Harvey the Love Bug's own Lindsay Lohan, Rachel McAdams, little Claudia Salinger,
Oh
Lacey
my god.
Chabert, Lily Kane, Amanda Seyfried, Jonathan Bennett, don't know him, uh, Liz Lemon, uh, what's his name? The love guy that Tim Meadows plays.
Oh, I
Yeah, that's
forgot.
growth. That guy, Leslie Nope, Lizzie Kaplan, who I know from. We'll talk about it, and
Good.
Daniel Franzese. I don't know how to say the dude's name. Um, we are watching this in conjunction with season 3, episode 25, Senior Poll, and our spelling connection is a testament to this theory and a testament to my willingness to click on like 75 different people's names and look at their IMDb. Because our spelling connection is second assistant director, second unit, uncredited, Jose Clemente Hernandez, who at one point in his career was a DGA trainee on Melrose Place.
Wow.
Yep, that is by far the deepest I've ever had to dive for a spelling connection. And it's insane because this movie came out when Aaron Spelling was alive and
Hmm.
stars people that are contemporaries with people who were on his shows. And somehow they just didn't cast a one of them. It's amazing to me.
It's crazy, and I commend you for your devotion. I gave up halfway through the crew of Woman of the Hour. I don't think I would have found anyone because that is so recent.
Yeah, that's
Um,
probably true.
but still, it was wild.
Yeah, I just kept going. I was like, seriously, none of these people, not one of, and there's people who worked on like 25 TV shows, and not one of them was a spelling production. It boggles the mind. But again, we found one.
We found
So
one.
shouts to Jose Clemente Hernandez.
It
Um,
just goes to show how much we really wanted to watch this movie.
you want. So here's the thing: you really wanted to watch this movie, and I wanted to make that happen for you. So
Aww.
we were looking.
I would have been okay.
No, I mean, of course, but you know, it's this is a good movie to watch.
Yes.
Um, I had seen this movie once, probably around when it came out.
Wow.
I feel like you've seen it more than
Yeah.
that.
Um, I saw this the night before I started high school in a new district. So,
Yeah.
which was either a good idea or a bad idea. It was a great idea. And
Which part?
after
Wait, starting school in a new district or watching this movie the night before?
both,
Oh, okay, good.
both were great ideas. And then it was just one of those movies that anytime, I mean, it would always be playing at cast parties.
Okay.
And I don't know if you have friends over, this was just a good go-to movie. And
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen it quite a bit.
Awesome. So I feel like obviously our experiences of seeing this movie are vastly different, and I think our point of view as we watch the movie is probably vastly different, and our relationship to it vastly different.
Yeah.
I don't know if our opinion is vastly different, but it's probably different.
Probably.
So, and here's why I think all of those things. One, what you just said about when you saw it and the number of times you saw it after that. But you are their age,
Yes.
right? This is a contemporary high school movie experience for you. Just like 90210 is a contemporary high school movie experience for me. And I'm going to posit that this is a more reflective experience for you than 90210 is for me, because I've met high school girls and I've also watched 90210, and that shit is crazy. So
this movie's kind of crazy too. I'm not saying this I think the behavior definitely happens. The situations I hope don't. Like, I don't know anyone who got hit by a school bus going that fast.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Like, how fast was the school bus going that hit the person that you do know?
I misspoken. I don't know anyone who got hit by a school bus.
Yeah. Okay, good. Regardless of how stumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
There was divine intervention for all possible bus dilemmas in my life.
This occurs to me. How many school bus hit, or how many bus hitting people shows have you seen? And are any of them more memorable than this one? Because I have at least one.
They're clearly not, because I don't think I've ever seen one. And you tell me a school bus hits someone, I'm immediately going to think of this.
Okay, so the one I'm thinking of is not a school bus; it's a city bus. But in season 2 or 3 of Felicity, there is a dude straight up just by a bus at the end of an episode, out of nowhere. Dude is dead. Fucking trauma. Like, and I don't remember the character's name. I love Felicity, by the way. Love Felicity.
I've thought about watching it.
I really like it a lot. But the dude was just flattened by a bus. And so when I saw this, I was like, oh, that guy. I don't remember his name. But then she's like voiceover, and that was how Regina died. And I was like, the fuck? I actually said that out loud before she was like, just kidding.
Just kidding.
But I was like, well, that is a dark turn this movie just took, just straight murdering. It's like giving her the Janet Leigh treatment.
I mean, it's almost like a brief little homage to Heathers, because I remember seeing Heathers and thinking, oh, fuck, this is a lot darker than Mean Girls.
Oh,
like this.
Yes.
Yeah, this goes there.
Yeah. I mean, Heathers is the prototype for all of these, kind of high school girls being shitty to each other movies. And it just tonally so different.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I think Tina Fey was like, I want to honor that and respect that parts of that definitely happen. I also want to provide humor with a message.
Sure.
And I love it.
Yeah. By the way, Heather's super easy to watch. Shannon Doherty.
I know.
We stop at like the top of the call sheet, and we don't have to look. We don't have to find Jose Clemente Hernandez to make this shit work.
Shout outs to him.
Yeah, shouts to Jose.
Jose.
Here's the other thing. So I don't know, for people who haven't seen this movie, Harvey the Love Bug comes to, I can't remember her character's name.
Lindsay. Oh, Katie Heron. Oh my
God.
I
know her name in this.
I need to do this one.
Yeah, you know what? Do it. Yes.
Okay, I will.
I'll miss large swaths of it, and then in the middle, I'll just say random shit. So that'll be fun. Let's
perfectly
see how
fine.
this goes.
Okay, so Katie Heron, who has been homeschooled and living abroad in Africa with her zoologist parents, moved to new area in Chicago. She goes to school. She befriends some people who want to take revenge on the Plastics, aka the popular girl group. And naturally, she melds in with them so much that she herself becomes plastic, and it becomes a story about how easily you can be turned into a horrible person. And you don't need to be a horrible person as a teenage girl. It's wonderful.
I love in the middle of that, you created an accent.
Because when
Like,
I have you ever, I don't know if you feel this way, but sometimes I feel, and I've noticed among other humans, that when we are getting into something that could sound douchey, we start to do an accent so that no one will make fun of us further. It's like, see, you're laughing at that. You're not laughing at what I'm saying and going, oh, how naive.
I see. It's very funny.
I think that's why we do
You,
that.
you left out the most important part of the movie, which is they straight up lie about going to Old Orchard Mall.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Look, this is what happens when I don't do the recaps. We miss the important shit.
Wow.
I mean, I would have led with that's not Old Orchard. Old Orchard is an outdoor mall. They were clearly inside. Lies, 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 this movie.
I don't know why Chicago would have an outdoor mall. Like, what the hell? Yeah. You can only shop outside multiple. For 3 months of the year.
Yeah, no. Old Orchard in Skokie is an outdoor mall. And
Skokie. Oh, wait, I've totally been to this mall.
Of course you have. It's a great mall. And the mall, I don't remember what the mall is called, but in Oak Park is an outdoor mall too.
Oh.
Both of them are really nice. And you're right. You don't go hang out in there in January. You just don't do it. Bad idea. So everybody in this movie is mean. All of them.
Yeah.
Except for the teachers. Teachers are all right. So a bunch of mean girls. And so I graduated high school 10 years before this movie. When this movie came out, I was teaching high school.
Wow.
Yeah. So my perspective on this movie was and is from the teacher's point of view.
Got it.
Because I knew high school girls in 2004, and the kids that I worked with were not these kids. Okay. Yeah. So like the wonderful kids. Like I really liked so many of the kids that I taught, and I'm Facebook friends with a lot of them, and they're all 40 now and shit.
Oh my God.
Crazy. Yeah. Having kids and whatnot of their own. So they weren't these horrible girls.
Yeah.
But I've also worked with like grade school kids who were just as mean to each other as these girls, just in sort of a grade school capacity. So I watched this movie, and this is how I watched it when I watched it last night. And it makes me sad. Aww. Like watching these girls be so fucking awful to each other, in every conceivable way, and for no reason, creatively. I'll give them that. And occasionally it's funny. But the first half of this movie, it's a fucking downer.
Wow. Okay.
So like kind of the only part of the movie I enjoy is when they start acting nice to each other.
That's like, fair. Didn't I have a similar? I mean, that was me with Karate Kid.
That's true, but then golf and stuff. Come on.
But that was totally my experience with the Karate Kid. Like I could not handle how awful they were being to this
the bullying.
Kid.
Yeah, so that's true.
That's funny that I can't handle boys being, I can't handle any kids being mean to each other, but in this instance, it looks like I can't handle boys being mean to each other and you can't handle girls being mean to each other. It's fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to think to find a movie with, it's not,
I know it's not just that. I know it's not a
Yeah,
gendered thing.
no,
Like, I
no,
like
it's
to point out the obvious because, like, I think
yeah,
it
yeah,
still matters.
yeah. No, what I was going to say is like there's a different social dynamic at play in the Karate Kid as opposed to this.
Yes.
Um, where like so the Karate Kid is like both of them are like kids who are new to this school from out of town or Africa, um,
I'm from
or
Michigan.
Jersey, yeah, um, yeah, right. Um, but like and they do the plastics. Regina like turns on her because of an ex, which is what it's why Johnny starts targeting Daniel. So there's that is the same, but it feels like there's a group here and a group there but the Karate Kid is like that group of assholes being real shitty to one kid, which is like a
Yeah.
straight up bullying situation. And so that's one thing. This is like um everybody's an asshole. Like there's not, I mean, it's like they all close your eyes, raise your hand
Yeah.
again, I mean, it's everybody, it's the whole fucking population that is this awful to one another, not
Yeah.
just like a group of bullies picking on one kid. um and so that feels like a redemptive underdog story to me, and this just feels like an indictment of society. you know
Which is maybe why I like it.
there you go.
Because I'm just like, yes, agreed. Yes, we're all terrible now. We give us the tools to fix it. Oh, we don't know how to use the tools because, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean maybe that's why I look at it and I just go, God, this is fucking sad.
It's
Um,
fair.
but then but then Liz Lemon stands up and just takes over that pep rally or whatever it is. It's in a gym, so it's kind of a pep rally. Um,
They call it a workshop.
yeah, and it is. I From that point forward, I'm like, I mean, except for the part where she gets run over by a bus or whatever. Um, has anyone ever yada yada getting run over by a bus? Because that's what I just did. Um, it, it's it's people learning how to be human with one another,
Mm-hmm.
and like own their shit, which is what we talk about, how in 90210 no one ever wants to own their shit. Um,
Yeah.
so it's people starting to do that, and like the climax of the movie is her, Herbie Lovebug. I know. Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna call you
standing.
Caddy.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what you just
Um,
did to me.
I totally did. I know what her name is. I'm choosing elsewise. Um, is her standing up and taking responsibility for doing something shitty, and I'm like, yay to that.
Yes.
Like that. So I like the movie, and I really like the message of the movie. And I understand that like you have to like in order for them to like learn to be nice, they have to be shits at the start. Um, but just the pervasive level of being a shit is it makes the first half of this movie not a ton of fun for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, and although I guess it is kind of your fault because you are of their peer group. Like this is your shit that we're
But
watching on
like,
TV.
I never acted that way, and like no one else, my high school experience was not that. Like,
Yeah.
obviously there was drama.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like, you know, you hear about the people that might be the shit stirrers, but like I very quickly, because again, it was a new school, it was a school with a much bigger theater department, and the best advice my mom ever gave me was just like, just stay out of the drama, just don't get involved with it because it will come
Only
back to you.
comedies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Good.
And
Smart.
and I did just that, and I think it helped me survive with minimal problems.
Yeah. I mean that. Yeah. Staying out of the strum and drong of other people's bullshit is a really smart way to go if you can do it. Um,
like it seems obvious, and I mean, I'm sure as a freshman I was just like, I don't, what drama are you thinking? Like, what? Okay.
Right,
Um,
right.
and then
What
it
could they
became
possibly
apparent,
do?
and then it became apparent pretty quickly, like in the shows I was doing, and like the way people would talk about each other or rant about like not getting apart and etc.
Mhm.
But
Have you really out of nowhere, kind of? Have you ever seen Showgirls?
no, I haven't. I've heard
Okay.
isn't that the one? I feel like I've heard that one is pretty horrifying, so I've stayed away from it.
I mean, it's not good. Um,
Okay.
it's a really bad movie, but it is it's total camp. So like as long as you watch it and go, oh, okay. Like I'm not sure it was intended to be camp, but it's camp.
I'm sure
Um,
not.
but it's the Mean Girl stuff backstage at a Las Vegas review, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's got more of the theater piece of it than this movie does, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but more titties. Um, so there's that.
I don't know. Some boobs were like really pushed up in this. Like
Uh-huh.
watching it, I was just like, "Oh yeah, this is the aughts silhouette."
Yeah, yeah. Oh, very much. Yeah. Um, speaking of all the boobs, um, th- this is the other part of where I think what colors the movie and uh, different relationships with it is uh, what you associate these actors with.
Mm. Yep.
Because, uh, I mean, obviously, it's Liz Lemon and Leslie Knope. Like, I'm
Yeah.
watching Liz Lemon and Leslie Knope in this thing, and I'm like, this is weird. Um, and a little Parent Trap running around
Yeah.
with big old cans now and
Oh
whatnot.
my god.
I know Lindsay Lohan was kind of hot in this movie. Rachel McAdams, who like I've known for like 1,000 other things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like she's just everywhere, and she's great, and I love her. Um, Little Lacey Chabert, fucking Claudia Salinger on Party of Five. That kid is perpetually 8.
Oh
Like
my
she's a
god.
little kid in my head, or she's on Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
Like this little middle period where she was like a woman is I don't understand. It's weird to me. Um, Amanda Seyfried, who I know as Veronica Mars's best friend, and yeah, that's and total sex pot, which kind of fits here, but also like it's her murder that Veronica is trying to solve. The first,
What?
yeah, the first season of the show, and I mean I didn't spoil anything. You learned that in the first episode.
I mean,
Um,
it's fine.
yeah, and I highly recommend watching Veronica Mars. Oh my god, it's so
Yeah.
good. But she's Lily Kane to me, and not stupid in that thing, and here she's like ridiculously dumb. Um, but like, so everyone in this movie to me is someone else being in this movie.
Wow.
But for you, it's like, well, this is what like Leslie Knope was just his hot mom when she moved to Indiana.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
for you, it's the other direction.
well, and like this, I can't remember what came first, me watching them on SNL or this, like
Mm-hmm.
probably them on SNL, because I feel like this would have been just after or near the end of their time. But yeah, like this is definitely the thing I know them both first and foremost from.
Hmm.
Liz Lemon doesn't have as much of an impact on me as Leslie Knope. Um, but yeah, it was. I mean, she. I wouldn't say looks completely different, but yeah, she looks quite different.
Mhm. She does. Yeah. It's weird that I associate Tim Meadows with SNL. Like that's my first connection for him.
Mm,
Ladies Man. That's what that character's name is. Yeah,
got
that's
it.
gross. Um, but when I was talking to a friend of mine about this the other day, like there are comedians who are exactly my shit. Like people who are really weird in the way they like approach comedy or the things they think are funny, or like they just like people like Fred Armisen. I think is that guy is right on my wavelength.
Okay.
Cousin Bill. Like
Yeah.
Cousin Bill is right. John Mulaney. Like they all, they're all, and they all to me they share a lineage with like Steve Martin. Like it's sort of
Mm.
that. It's really smart stuff, also silly and twisted, kind of a little bit. But my point is, as much as I love those guys, I was totally out on SNL the whole time they were on. Like I
Oh,
didn't watch it.
interesting.
I wasn't like anti, but I
Sure.
just didn't watch it. Um, and the same is true for Liz Lemon and Leslie Knope. Like what I've seen of their SNL has been on best ofs. Like the best of Will Ferrell or the Christmas episodes or I didn't watch the show when they were on it,
Okay.
so I knew who they were. Like I know Tina Fey and Amy Poehler and all those people who were on the shows during those times, but I don't associate, my memories of them are not on SNL.
Okay.
So it's not until I watched 30 Rock that I'm like, I mean, I thought Tina Fey was hot and funny when she was on Weekend Update, and like she was really good, but I didn't watch. And then I turn on 30 Rock and I'm like, well, this is maybe the greatest thing that's ever been put on television. Like, holy shit, this show's funny. And then I watch Parks and Rec, and I have a very similar opinion of Parks and Rec. It's
I
a
love
way
Parks and
different
Rec.
show.
Oh yeah, it's
I mean,
very different.
we've started doing a rewatch because Liam was like, I'd like to watch Parks and Rec, and I'm like, yes, we can 100%. So we actually just watched the episode where Fred Armisen comes to town, and he's the Venezuelan sister city guy, Viva
Yeah.
Chavez. Yeah, we just watched that one right before we sat down to record. So part of why I was thinking about how wonderful Fred Armisen is. But it does, like, it colors my viewing of the movie. Like, little Claudia Salinger is out there just being naughty business.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But I get that from a different perspective. Like I definitely feel that way a little about the Stranger Things kids, but I've had to get over that quickly because I mean, Millie Bobby Brown is going to do what she wants to do, and she should. She's an adult woman, Everyone calm down.
You know what's funny with her is that, like, I know her from before Stranger Things. She did one or two different weird ass sci-fi shows.
Oh, okay.
And she was fucking great. Like, I was like, whoever that little girl is, I mean, like that she's that level. And then she gets Stranger Things, and I'm like, oh, that's that girl from that other show that got canceled that I liked.
That's funny.
And now it's just, but I think there's a difference for me with the Stranger Things kids in that I've watched them grow up.
Oh, that's fair. And this,
like
you
we
didn't really
sort of saw it. Yeah, no, I mean, it was Claudia Salinger. She was like 12, and then all of a sudden she's in this movie and she got boobs and shit. So it's like, well, that happened. Like, and it's similar. I have a similar thing with Michelle Trachtenberg, who was in Buffy.
Oh, okay.
Because she was a little kid in Buffy, and then she's a grown-up person now. Like,
man, I envy these women who had a natural growth period, whereas I looked like I was 13 from like middle school to college.
Yeah.
There was no me coming back from summer vacation and people being like, whoa. It was like, oh, you're still an A cup. Yeah, I am.
It was that. Wait. So the Scarlet A you wore was for that.
Oh yeah, it was 2.
Yeah, there you go. 2 Scarlet, but like cutouts of your tank top.
Yes. Oh man, that would have been amazing. If I had just owned the prepubescent look, and the everyone people making fun of me for, being virginal and all that, and it's called being a fucking teenager. Like,
right.
there's a sketch to be made there. Someone just owning their shit. You've seen Easy A, but have you seen A Cup?
I'm not sure you're gonna get a movie greenlit about a 13-year-old who doesn't have boobs. I don't think that's gonna be the.
It's gonna be an 18-year-old who doesn't have boobs because it happens.
Playing a 13-year-old who doesn't have boobs.
No, she's
okay.
She's gonna be in high school. It's gonna be like senior year, and everyone's gonna be making fun of the fact that she's still playing a 13-year-old.
Gotcha.
Oh, this is coming together beautifully. No one steal this. Only send money.
You've got, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks before this episode goes live, so you got plenty of time.
Oh my god, I'm already writing 2 other scripts.
Get out there and copyright that shit. Okay. What table would you be at?
It's not addressed when Janice says it, because she says sit with the greatest people you'll ever know, but the plastics later on call it the art freaks table.
Mm-hmm.
It's that, or no, it's probably that, because I definitely wasn't a sexually active band geek.
Sure.
Although, I would have been sitting at the art freaks table looking at them like,
if only I played the tuba.
I wish I was making out instead of eating a bagel.
That's right. Eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the toilet.
Definitely. Okay, I did not do that my first day. I definitely ate alone, but I did not go to the bathroom. That's disgusting.
That's really gross. Yeah.
Like, go to the library. Go sit on the bleachers. I don't know. Anywhere.
Anywhere else. Yeah. And that's the table I'm at, was anywhere else.
Okay.
Like, my freshman year, I ate in the cafeteria. But after that, we never went to the cafeteria. Like, there was there was a teacher who was like, he directed the spring musical and stuff. Mm-hmm. And like, he wasn't a teacher. He was like, I don't know, the director of campus ministry or something. He also ran the retreats. But he had an office and he had a couch. And so there'd be like 8 of us in his office eating lunch every day. It was the theater kids. That's who it was.
I was going to say, like, for me, it was sitting at the theater kids table before school began, because some of us would meet up and just chat. And then actual lunchtime, it would be with my non-theater friends. So I don't know what that table is.
Yeah. The non-theater table.
The non-theater table. The honor-bound crew.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to talk about before we get into the adventures?
I don't think so. No.
All right. So let's talk about Amy Poehler coming in and offering condoms mid-coitus.
Or how she had a dog suckling her at one point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I read a thing that was like a cocktail wiener.
Oh my god!
That was like put in the bra poking out, and that's what
That's so smart.
Really funny.
I had no idea. That's really smart. Otherwise, you would have had to have like peanut butter or something, and like that's going to ruin a shirt.
Yeah. I think the shirt was done. I mean, either way, cocktail wiener or peanut butter. I think that's not you don't wash that and wear it again the next day.
That is, to this day, the most uncomfortable moment of the movie for me. Like, it's funny, but it's also like, why is this happening?
Yeah. Yeah. It's happening because it's funny. That's why.
Yeah. So there's a lot of intimacy in this because, it's high school.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, I had 2 thoughts about this to start. I was thinking, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but I was thinking like, okay, what does teenage intimacy look like? And as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, oh, it's all over the place. Like,
yeah,
literally and figuratively, because the first makeout scene we see is just this girl. She leans right in and goes to town on her boyfriend. And it's very, like big mouth movements.
Mm-hmm.
But then later on, when you have Katie kissing, what's his name? The main guy they're all crushing on, Aaron Samuels, God, I
There
should
you
know
go.
this. When when they have their nice romantic kiss at the end at the dance, it's not as big, it's small. So, there's a lot of variety in
Mhm.
this on people who are either, I guess, to showcase which teenagers are most likely having sex and which teenagers are just making out, because, you know,
Right.
that's a base. um I was thinking too randomly, I was like, I wonder what intimacy looks like across the decades, across eras, if you will. And so now I'm on a mission to start like dissecting either, this is going to sound so strange, but it has to be true. Like, what, I don't know, what moves were trendy in romantic
Mm,
scenes, you
gotcha.
know? Like there's a specific formula that a lot of romance, not even just romance, just there's a clear Hollywood kiss formula that happens and it changes, and I want to dissect it. um
That's
so
interesting. Yeah.
stick around, people, and I'm going to see what develops further from that, cuz I didn't get a clear sense of it from this movie in terms of like what were we doing in the aughts sexually.
Right.
um
Hmm.
and especially because these are teenagers, so again it's different, there's a lot of variety. um
Right.
so that's what I have to say about that particular part of intimacy. um we mentioned the dog sucking teat, which is
Yeah. It's a very specific kind of
unusual.
intimacy.
Yeah, very specific. Mrs. Norbury, accidentally taking off her shirt in front of
Hmm.
class, which I realize
Yep.
now, and I don't think, I have no idea if they used body doubles in those moments, but I'm like, oh, we don't see their face, so they totally could have, and they would have been like, Tina, Amy, take a day off.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they if they used the body double, they chose a good one because it looked like it was her. Like it looks like that's her frame, that's her size, that's that looks like her.
Yeah,
So I don't know if it is or not, but well
it
done
very
if
well
it's not.
could be. It very well
Yeah.
could be. Let's see. So there's a moment where there was girl on girl kissing at the Halloween party,
Hmm.
and it's so random, and I'm like, who was this? I should have watched the trailer because I thought, if like, it just felt so male gazy, and I'm like, was this for the
Hmm.
male producers to be like, look, we know you hate female ensemble movies, but hey, there's some girls making out with each other, isn't that great? Thank you, for give us more money, thank you.
I mean,
Or like if they put
I'm
it,
sure that didn't hurt in the attempt to sell it to you know high school boys.
for sure, so like, yeah, it makes sense that they would throw something in there to like, oh, we've lost the boy's interest, come back, come back, come back,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
girls making out. But they also
Mhm.
make fun of it in the moment by having a guy in the background be like, yes.
Right. Right. Oh,
So
but that
a
was
lot of,
also that was documentary footage. Like that was documentary footage of every a boy watching two girls kiss in when they were in high school. I mean, yeah. You may think it's a joke. That's just a reflection of reality.
I mean, I part of me is like, I want to have a problem with it, and then another part of me is like, I remember when I first saw clips of Brokeback Mountain and was like,
Hmm.
oh, that's stirring something that I
There you
don't have
go.
the words for.
Oh, um, the timing of it's interesting because I've seen like this week on Tori's podcast some well this week on the on 9021 OMG they're talking about an episode that's a season finale later and I don't want to say anything about the episode, but the point of her story is that was that she was talked into having a threesome that night, that they were recorded that episode. So like Tori's just in like telling stories mode. Um and she but then on her own podcast, I think she was talking about how she was like, we did this all the time in the 90s, where you would kiss your female friends in front of the guys to make them all hot. And the person she was talking to was like, did you do this with any of your 90210 castmates? And she was like, I think all of them. Like, yeah, I think she was like, there was one that I didn't, but it was like she did with everybody. So
You know what?
again, documentary footage.
That may be how we get a woman president. And I'm not
There you
above
go.
it. I'm not above
Just
it.
hot snogging. Okay.
So back to intimacy. I don't know what to say about what I feel about Janice and Damien's kiss. I think it's really interesting that they threw that in there as a way to, like, I don't know, make fun of all the couples coming together at the end of a teenage movie.
Yeah, sure.
And like they did it so earnestly. It was perfect. Like they're just slow dancing together and they slowly look up at each other and then just slowly move in. And then it was perfect that, ew, oh, gross.
Yep. Nope. This isn't good. No, don't like it.
Which definitely had that happen to me. Don't know how I still didn't think my friend was gay. But I was like, he'll tell me when he's ready. Well, it gave me a hint.
There you go.
Not to brag, but I was like, I know I'm not a bad kisser, so I don't know where that ooze coming from, but fine. Okay.
Can't win them all.
Yeah. Last thing I'm going to talk about, intimacy wise. Yeah, I think the last thing I'll talk about anyway is, the iconic Santa dance.
Sure.
Which everyone learned at some point, at least in my age group.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah, it's a fun time. That's, even though that's regular choreo, like some I could totally see where someone might want an icy and they're like, hey, I don't feel comfortable being sexy. Can you help me with this choreography and break it down?
Mm-hmm.
And also having to wear, like, I mean, they're playing teenagers, so they still need to be relatively covered, but like it's obviously a very adult costume.
Yeah, but I mean, they spend the whole movie in, like sexy looking outfits. That's they're the plastics. They're not gonna walk around looking not hot.
Well, and it's funny you mention that because in the recent movie, like they're very much I think a lot of that comes from the clothes that we wore at the time, which is not to say that like teens aren't still wanting to wear lingerie and everything, because like bodices and everything have been back for a while. Like that's still a thing, but now they pair it with, I don't know, like wide leg pants, everything, like it's different, but it's also just a variation of what we wore in the aughts. Although, like, I definitely remember the mini skirts more and like the very tight layered shirts, some being V-neck. So yeah, I mean, they're wearing sexy clothing all throughout, which again, you've got to be comfortable with and hopefully be aware of or made aware of. But all of that is character building, and if someone doesn't want to do it, then hopefully there's someone there they can talk to.
That's true. You know what girls wore when I was in high school? See, this is where
80s so shoulder pads.
No, it was early 90s. No, yeah, no, it was when I was in grade school. I was gypped because like guys who went to high school in the 80s, like girls were dressing like Madonna with like the off the shoulder and the ripped stuff and the like the leggings and the all that kind of stuff. And like the girls in the early aughts are dressing like this and like wearing their thongs, like the whale tail situation. Like it goes all over the place. When I was in high school, girls were wearing flannel shirts that were like 6 sizes too big. They were wearing bib overalls, which, by the way, no notes. Wear bib overalls.
Okay.
Look. Here's here's why bib overalls are great, right? Your whole outfit is your thing, and you have like a t-shirt on underneath it, right? Um, so between the t-shirt and the bib overall, you can sort of, put a little belly, you rub the belly a little bit. But if you move your hand a little further down, there are no pants down there. So being inside the top of the bib overalls is like being inside the pants adjacent. And
Oh
so
my God.
it's a very nice setup. Bib overalls, thumbs up. But we did not have people dressing like this when I was in high school. Like 90210 notwithstanding. Like, but even in 90210, they're not wearing this in the high school years. I mean, the big blocky things and the shit. Remember stuff that Kelly was wearing like season 1?
Yeah.
Like bright neon, like crazy. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah.
It's
been fun watching the clothes from that show slowly morph into what we will know as the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Across clicks, but still.
Yep. Yeah, wait until season 5 when you're only going to see navels.
Oh, well, then we'll be in the aughts, won't we?
No, this is
90s. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is Midriff City, sophomore year of college.
Yeah.
No notes.
I know you like a navel.
I'm a fan. But don't untie me.
I think of that every time now, and I'm like, that's so weird.
I'm not saying it's not weird, but it's who I am. All right. Anything else for intimacy, or should we continue talking about my belly button?
I could. But I'm gonna stop. Unless there's other stuff you're thinking of.
Nope. So I guess let's follow the map where the kids are making out in Needle Drop Forest. Sexual activity happening up there.
Yeah.
So tell me if this is your experience of this movie, because it's totally mine. I was looking at the track list of the soundtrack on IMDb. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of songs on there I really like. I don't remember any of them being in this movie. Like, I have no memory of the music in this movie other than and I'm totally forgetting what it was, but the Christmas song they danced to at the end.
Oh, Jingle Bell Rock.
Jingle Bell Rock. The music, I mean, I love a lot of the songs in this movie. I don't remember them being in this movie.
That's fair. There are 3 that stick out to me, and I'll save the one that sticks out to me the most for last. I mean,
like a hot dog wiener. Like
oh my God, that was one time. By the way, there was definitely a girl at my middle school who's someone started a rumor about her like that. And I'm like, that's terrible. Why is that a thing? Why are people starting these rumors?
A girl in my grade school, same thing. It was a frozen hot dog.
Jesus.
That was the rumor.
Wild. So, music.
Yeah.
Milkshake is one I remember because the little girl is...
Oh, yeah, the little girl's dancing. Uh-huh.
Hi. And then I also remember One Way or Another, when they start pranking Regina or trying to ruin her life.
Jesus, don't remember. I mean, I don't remember that needle drop at all. Okay.
So then the one that sticks out the most to me, and of course, okay, I just looked up the song title. It's called Built This Way. And oh my God, I already forget the artist's name because I've never... Samantha Ronson. I'm sorry, Samantha Ronson. I really like your song. It's it starts with that do 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 do, and you hear it multiple times throughout the movie. So it's clearly like there was clearly something in that song that they felt resonated strongly with the theme, and hearing just the first few like beats of that song. I mean, even when I heard it as a kid, I was like, this feels... I don't know if I knew that it felt nostalgic, but it felt wistful. It felt longing to me, in the way that teens long for many things,
Yeah.
both concrete and not. And so hearing that again, like, yeah, that song hits me very hard in the feels when I watch this
Nice.
movie. Yeah, it's a
I
good
like
one.
that. Yeah, I like that. I guess this is probably another one of those, just like I was a teacher when I watched this movie, and you were a student when you watched this movie. Like, it's just these songs hit you because of when they are, in your life.
But I would also say that it's not a strong soundtrack. Like,
Mm.
even as I played that and was looking at the whole soundtrack on Spotify, I was like, yeah, these are fine, but
Mhm.
they very much, I think they felt that the story itself, the writing and everything was
Mhm.
strong enough that they didn't want to overshadow it, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I just, maybe it's, again, maybe it's my age, but I have an expectation in a teen movie that there is going to be iconic music connected to it.
Sure.
You know,
I mean,
because
yeah.
I grew up with Pretty in Pink and The Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller, and like all those movies had just iconic soundtracks. Um, and then Dazed and Confused is like super huge soundtrack, music to that movie. Even Cruel Intentions, we talked about the
Yeah.
soundtrack of that. And like, so I think if you're going to do a teen movie, you have to like bring that music sensibility to it. There has to be a thing, and apparently that song is this movie's that thing.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know, for it just didn't. None of it penetrated me. And maybe, I mean, I think the writing in this movie and the performances and the story itself it doesn't need the music to elevate it, but
Yeah.
you sort of expect to have that with a teen movie,
Yeah.
because the music is so important.
Yeah. I agree. Maybe that's why she agreed to have it turned into a musical.
No, I guess that was maybe something they were talking about a long time ago, like a stage production of it. So I don't know.
I don't know. It's I don't know how worth it is to touch on. I personally don't care for it. I think it kind of, for once, the musicalization of a story takes away from the story. I feel like it takes away from its message and focuses more on the uh iconoclasm of it all.
Mm.
Like the like it
Like the
focuses on the go ahead.
no, like the fetch and the
It's
outfits and the look, and yeah.
yeah, except when I watched the movie musical that came out recently, I was like, because of course they took it out of the aughts and put it in the 2020s, and I'm like, no, never do that again. Don't put
Mm.
anything in this time. Um, just don't. And also, I don't know. People say things are dated like it's a bad thing, and I get where it sometimes is, but I like the dated nature of Mean Girls.
Mm.
I
I
like
like
that.
it when something feels of a time.
Like, they're on their phones, but they don't have social media yet, and it's
Right.
beautiful. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, you all are just doing this from pure energy in your bodies and your minds, and it's awful, but it's also like that's going to be gone soon.
Mhm. Yeah.
Soon it's going to be
Yeah.
a whole new level of torture that we're self-inflicting. Oh,
I know.
I rant
Hold
on
on,
a lot about phones.
I need to watch some ads. Give me a second.
Okay. I hope those are exciting for you. I need to watch reactions to reactions.
Oh, that's a good idea. I've got there's this new video I saw of a lady acting crazy in a parking lot that is very much not staged. And you know how you can tell it's not staged, because there's like 3 different camera angles of it, and they were all cut together and edited professionally. Um,
I know.
it's ridiculous. Um, yeah, I like it when something feels of its time, but because of the story that it's telling is universally applicable. I think
Which,
that's your ideal. Because if it doesn't feel of a time, then it doesn't feel specific enough to be real.
yeah.
It has to be of a moment to for this kind of a story. some things you can totally be disconnected from time. Doesn't matter. Star Wars. I don't know. I don't know what year Star Wars happened in.
Just a galaxy long ago.
I right far away. It was a minute ago. But I don't know when, so it's fine. All right. What else time? Is this anyone's defining role?
I mean, yeah, for people my age, like this is everyone's. Like we know them from this. We know
Yeah.
they've done other things. Like I knew Lindsay Lohan from The Parent Trap.
Mhm.
But then this took over because this was
Right.
kind of her. I mean, she's done other stuff since, but she's also had a lot of other shit happen. So, like, I feel like this is the last iconic thing she's done. And it seems like she's okay with that. Um, yeah, for me, this is everyone's like iconic thing. I know they've all done other stuff, but I will go back to them in this. You know, when
Mhm.
I met my parents and they've got Hallmark on, almost 24/7. I'm like, "Oh, there's Gretchen Wieners
Yep.
and a snowman?"
Probably. And
Yeah.
there's probably a snowman. Definitely a gazebo.
Yeah.
1,000% there's a gazebo. It's all those shows were shot outside of Taylor's grocery store. Like
Oh.
they're right across the street from Luke's. It's that's
I
where all those
just
movies
finished my rewatch of Gilmore Girls, so now I'm feeling
are. Oh,
dopey again.
I like it. Um, for me, it maybe Lindsay Lohan, maybe. But I've been calling her Herbie the Love Bug this whole time. So
Oh
you
my
know,
god.
she did that. She was really big in those Disney movies. She did. Like she was such a like she was a big enough star that I knew who she was, and I wasn't watching kids movies.
Yeah.
Like I was in college, I wasn't watching The Parent Trap. I was like, justice for Haley Mills. Let's go old school Parent Trap.
Oh my god, you and Walter both. Listen, I also grew up with Haley Mills, but then I saw how you could improve upon something that was already good, and I love it.
All right. I
The
mean,
dad in
look,
the original's an asshole. But we don't get the song, and that sucks.
nah, sorry about that. Um, yeah, but yeah, for me, none of them are. This is their thing, which
That's
I
fair.
think is kind of fascinating, you know. But like, yeah, literally, I look at every one of those names and think of something else first. It's
Yeah.
pretty nuts, you know.
Yeah.
But
I love Lizzie Kaplan even more than from other stuff she's done since
mhm,
this.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I'm always gonna go back to her as be like, oh my god, yeah, Janissie and
No,
crazy,
she was in a show called Masters of Sex on Showtime.
which I want to watch.
It's good. Yeah, it's about
No, I know what it's about.
yeah, but what's his name? Masters and Johnson and their sex studies, and she plays Johnson. Um, so and she's really really good in it, and so that's who she is to me.
She's so
Um,
good.
yeah, is that TV show that ran for 3 years a decade ago? Like that's where she's locked in my head. And then I saw her in this. I'm like, she's hotter than that thing.
Well, yeah.
I mean, not the point, but still. Um, what else you got?
I don't know. I'm thinking about the stuff that has changed from the original movie to the I'm gonna say the movie musical because I haven't seen it on stage, so I don't
Mhm.
know what is different from the stage version to now the movie musicalization of the original film. My God, what a tongue twister! So like,
Mhm.
um, there obviously there's things that they changed. It's strange to me. Some of the jokes they've taken out, I take umbrage with because I'm like, I think everyone is being a little too picky and
Hmm.
precious acting like girls don't call each other awful things. But okay, if you want to take that out,
I mean, as much as I don't like that part of the movie, you can't have the part that I like without that part.
Well, yeah, and
You
again,
know?
that's why I think it takes away from the message. If you don't show these people at their worst, and, you know, just because you laugh at something doesn't mean it's not still horrible. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Just because you laugh at something doesn't mean people aren't taking it seriously. It means it's the only way they feel they can handle it.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Um, the one thing that's probably the best thing that they took out was the whole like coach student relationship, because obviously
Oh
that's
yeah.
a problem, and it's oogie, and like
Hmm.
it's another thing that was probably added in here because like these are the things that people find funny and it's weird and it's awful, but we don't know how else to handle it. Well, luckily we're talking about it. We're not
Hmm.
necessarily handling it better, but we know that it's not funny. So we've
Right.
taken it out and we fixed it.
Right.
We don't
Hmm.
need to do anything else.
Yeah.
So that's what I have for what else, I guess.
I get that. So didn't the Plastics watch Cruel Intentions?
Or Heather's.
But I just specifically the Burn book.
Oh,
Like,
fair.
you don't document your crimes? A terrible idea. This is the petard you are going to be hoisted upon. Do not have a petard.
Oh my god. This is Heather's without death, and this is Cruel Intentions without the Coke.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, they don't have any necklaces.
No.
But I mean, come on. That movie was 1999. This is 5 years later. These kids saw Cruel Intentions. They had to. And you seriously, the lesson you took from that is when we write down our crimes, we should wrap it in pink.
Yeah.
Like that was the prime takeaway. Ridiculous.
Because everyone, no matter what your age, everyone thinks when they see something done wrong, they're like, oh, I won't get caught.
Yeah, I know how to pull that off. Where I write
Exactly.
horrible things about everyone I've ever met, and no one will see it. Um, that's what you call Chekhov's burn book, right there. That's the first Chekhov's reference we've made in a little while now, I think. So
Oh man, poor
I
Chekhov.
know. I can come up in a minute. Carpal tunnel seems like a real bitch. I mean, you got to wear that cast all year.
I think he broke his
That's what I
hand.
read.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
read that he broke his hand right before filming, and they just gave him the carpal tunnel thing. And the movie obviously didn't take a whole year to shoot, so it didn't heal. But when he still had it on at like the I don't know, the intervention pep rally or whatever,
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, this is a carpal tunnel's a motherfucker."
Oh
So
man. I was so tempted to make my opening line the one where she's like, "It's not my fault. Have a heavy flow." I
oh
said,
god.
I can't even say it. That's the other line that used to make me so uncomfortable, and now I'm like, no, own it, honey.
That's right. That's funny. Huge vagina. Yeah.
I don't even know if like
Apparently, I was reading in like the trivia or whatever, and they were saying that line was one that like the censors wanted to cut
of
because
course.
yeah, but they pointed out that the like Anchorman had, which is like right around the same time, had jokes that were very similar in nature, like
A
and still got a
whale's
PG
vagina.
13.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the most ridiculous thing ever.
Listen, you have a woman talking about a vagina, but then on top of that, a bleeding vagina.
Right.
Listen, I don't know if the world can handle knowing this.
You can only talk about that if you use it as an excuse for women being crazy. It's the only context in which you can discuss such things.
Because as a classmate of mine loved to say, nothing should bleed for 7 days and not die.
Uh-huh. That's a thing that people say.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I'm going to go on the. You know what? You ready for an edict? Women shouldn't die from having their periods. Edict!
Hey! I like it.
Hashtag feminism. Ridiculous.
Also, you would be crazy too if it happened to you. I ruined that.
No, you didn't ruin it. Leslie Gore forever. All right. What is this the EST of for you?
This is a lot for me. I feel like this. I had question marks. I was like, is this the most aughts movie? Is this the cleverest teen movie? I think it's both of those things. It's very aughtsy, and I think it's incredibly clever.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's both of those things. I mean, these are the meanest girls.
They don't kill. No, they're mean. They're awful. But I'm sorry. Did one of them accidentally drink what was it? Dish fluid? Whatever. I forget what Heather drinks, but they don't kill each other.
Yeah, but I mean, those girls and Heathers are real jerks. Yeah, no, I mean, everybody's mean in this movie. Like they're all mean, all of them. Even the boys are mean girls. Like they're all mean. Not Liz Lemon. Shouts to Liz Lemon. But everybody's just mean in this movie. It's just mean all the way around. Aptly titled. Yeah.
That was the point.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think they nailed it.
Society is terrible now, starting with the teens.
There you go. All right. I think that once again we have proven my theory. And again, shouts to Jose Clemente Hernandez, that everything comes back to Aaron Spelling.
Even Mean Girls.
Even Mean Girls. See all these mean girls being mean to each other all the time. Mean.
Thank you, Jose. You're our hero.
I know. Fucking my man. I hope he's still out there just working. Just
Jose Clemente is my green room.
Facts. What I like the most is, like, in my head, there's a circumstance where someone points out to him that he was mentioned on this podcast, and he's like, "What? Why?" Like, and then he listens to it and finds out that it's because he worked on Melrose Place once. Like, that. What? Who are these crazy people, and why are they talking about me?
Let's all find each other.
Yeah. Bring me Jose Clemente Hernandez. He should be our first guest. All right, so join us here next week, Cheesemeisters. On Wednesday, we are going to watch Season 3, Episode 26, She Came In Through the Bathroom Window. And we haven't 100% decided what we're going to watch yet. It might be a toothpaste commercial. But most likely it's going to be something starring Burt Reynolds because he guest stars in the episode. So come back here for some Burt Reynolds joy next Friday. But until then, Cheesemeisters.
Cheers.